Once upon a time, on a sad Valentine, in a place known as Hanniger Mine, a legend began. Every woman and man would always remember the time, and those who remained were never the same. You could see the fear in their eyes. Once every year, as the 14th draws near, there's a hush all over the town.
And he whisked with a wind, and he took it in sin, and he... And Frodo, he delivered the ring that day.
It's so great.
This is the theme song that ends the entire movie.
Well, yeah, it has to end the movie because it tells the entire story.
Yeah, right. If it was the beginning. I'm about to spoil this movie that's from long ago.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
We got taglines, bloody taglines.
Yes, we have a tagline.
My bloody taglines.
Pretty mighty fine. Everything rhymes in this movie, by the way.
I know. They're actually just speaking in verse. It's a Shakespeare. It's like, all right, cool.
Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Okay, taglines. Here we go. Oh, I just I didn't even intend to. First one. Harry's out to steal your heart.
We are watching Harry and the Hendersons, right?
Oh. With Lithgow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
here to steal your heart.
Okay. Cross your heart and hope to die.
Yeah. How many times do you think that always gets used? I feel we've had something like that.
More than likely.
Yeah.
And heart burn. Meanwhile, nothing catches on fire in this movie.
I know. Well, there was the explosion.
Indigestion.
Indigestion. Next.
This Valentine's Day, romance is dead. I like that one.
I'll take it, yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, be my bloody Valentine.
That one kind of isn't that great.
Yeah. So the next one, it's such a cool... Oh,
cool.
Not cool. Sorry. It's such a cool movie. You'll want to see it over and over again.
I don't think I've ever heard a worse one, and we've heard some pretty bad ones. That one's stupid.
Right?
Like, that sounds mean to
it. That one might
is dumb.
That one might as well be. It's going to be a pun that I'm going to say right now.
Yeah.
Like what? There is more than one way to lose your heart.
You forget it. Someone takes it and hides it, and then you can't find it.
Where's my heart?
Yeah.
I don't put my heart on my keychain. I always lose it.
It's on my sleeve.
And Valentine's Day will never be the same again.
Because I lost my virginity.
Oh,
just kidding.
Are you Harriet?
No. Harriet.
The tale of Harriet. We'll get there. There's an entire song about Harriet the barmaid. And
she's so cool.
That's not all, though, folks. Let me tell you what we got here. Here's the rundown. With a budget of $2.3 million and a gross of $5.6 million, a body count of 12, with 1 pickaxe impalement, 3 pickaxe stabs, 1 human heart, 1 burnt-up body from a dryer, 1 pickaxe through the chin, 1 eyeball pop-out, 1 drowning by boiling hot dog water, 1 impalement by shower head, 2 shots to the head with a nail gun, 1 hanging with a head pop-off, with a 6.2 on IMDb, a 46 Metascore, and 50% rotten. It's 1981's My Bloody Valentine. Let's drop some bombs.
Thanks, Rusty. Say hi to Judgito.
We are so cute and cuddly. Don't discriminate against us.
I don't know your name.
Lobo Miranda.
Lobo? Truly? Outrageous.
I hope you're not a sore loser.
That depends on how hard he spanked me.
Sarah, be my bloody Valentine.
Welcome to Bonzo Way, the only podcast recorded inside a projection booth. My name is Jonathan Young. Joining me in the studio, as always, is...
Your favorite shitty chocolate heart. Jared. Seibert. That's me.
I thought you were going to be a chalky heart.
I was, but then I accidentally said chocolate.
Oh, you meant to say chalk?
I did.
Yeah, one of those sweethearts, huh? With all the little love me and be mine.
Yeah,
and...
but I couldn't find any English ones at the store, so it's all in Espanol.
So it's Spanish sexual harassment.
Yeah. These,
So-
I don't know what they say. Let me try and get one and figure out. Let's do, this kid took German, but he's reading Spanish. Te amo. Is that my love?
I guess.
Te amo. Or like, the ammo. Yeah, I don't know.
The ammo.
What is Spanish? We don't know.
The Nino is Spanish for... El Nino is Spanish for the Nino. One of my favorite Chris Farley bits from back in the day. So, speaking of back in the day, today we're talking about the Valentine's Classic. Oh, by the way, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
This is coming out on February 13th, which is extremely interesting because so did this movie back in the day.
Oh.
Okay? So, this movie came out on Friday, February 13th, 1981.
Spooky,
And I look
spooky,
back, and
spooky.
it did exist. It was Friday the 13th on that day, right? It is also interesting because it's copying off of the holiday slashers that had come before it, which is like Black Christmas in '78 and Halloween also at that time.
What
and
year was
Friday the 13th?
No, we just did it
Nightmare?
last month.
Oh, Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Yeah.
84.
Okay, cool. Never mind. We'll get to that later, though.
Right.
Motives.
Yeah. So, this movie came out a year after Friday the 13th, also by Paramount, and it has an
Is it Paramount? I always thought it was Paramount.
Yeah, it's my weird way of saying
We
things.
know.
It's fine. But what also is interesting about this movie is that directly before it coming out, it got destroyed by the MPAA. They required cuts throughout it. So every single death, and mind you, we said there's a body count of 12, needed substantial editing. So, and it has to do with two things. One, they got backlash for Friday the 13th the previous year, and second, this is 2 months after the death of John Lennon. So they were attributing that whole like violence is violence in movies, and that's why these things happen kind of stuff. So basically every single kill got cut to shreds, and almost I can't imagine, because I've only seen this film in the 2009 Lionsgate's bought the rights to this film because they're going to make the remake that came out, and they procured all of the cut footage and reinserted it into, basically it was a DVD that you could watch a theatrical version, or you could watch this one with reinserted footage, but the footage isn't cleaned up and it looks very scratchy and grindhouse.
Yeah, but I still
and it's a
think
lot of fun.
There were only a few instances like that, though. It wasn't like they
every
took out...
kill.
I thought I
It
only
was every
noticed it.
kill.
I only noticed it for maybe like 3 or 4 kills.
Oh, really?
But
I
they
was
were
paying
also
attention
they were the
to
ones that
to
were like back to back.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually every single kill had it. Yes.
Okay.
They basically wanted to edit out almost all blood. That was their goal.
Kind of hard to do
Yeah.
when you're killing people.
Yeah, right?
But who am I to
Just
say?
swing the axe.
Yeah.
Show the axe swing, and people, they'll get it. And apparently they did, because this is a huge cult classic. This is a favorite, and we're going to go on
Heaven's
record.
Gate loved it.
Yeah.
Cult classic. That's a joke for everyone that loves cults out
Yeah.
there. Okay.
So
stupid.
Haley's comment.
Did you get your Nike?
I love my Nikes, and oh yeah, Kool-Aid.
Purple or rose?
People are like so insensitive to 23 people out there.
Okay. They might still exist. That's the creepy thing.
What?
Yeah. We don't know.
Oh.
We don't know.
I know they might be on that comment. Being like,
Yeah.
fuck that show. So
Whatever. The comment's probably pretty far by now.
yeah, Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably like 200,000 miles away.
I don't know. I'm not a sciologist.
I'm not a spaceologist.
So, like we were saying, this film has some major history attached to it, and we're going to go on record of right now saying we picked this film not because it's a bad film, because it is far from an actual bad movie.
Yeah, I love
this
it.
goes into the cult classic status.
Yeah.
Very much like Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah. Well, then it was also, you were texting me and you were like, "Oh, I only have good things to say about it." And I was like, well, every now and then we need a Billie Jean, because we loved Billie Jean.
That's right. Billie Jean was
good.
Our first
one. But it was
one
still
that
like we had things. Like this, like, oh.
I have things.
There are moments.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
Let me open up a fridge. I can't tell that there's a body in here.
Right.
Close this fridge.
Right.
All right, sure, doofus.
Let me throw a body in there before I've killed everybody that I have to kill and hope it all goes well.
Right.
But actually, this is the first movie where that all kind of blows up in his face, too.
Yeah.
You know, they actually find the body before a half an hour mark, and there's tons of people to still kill.
Yeah.
And he still accomplishes it.
I kind of liked the pacing, and I was really afraid that it was going to fall into that really early 80s, basically any early slasher film that we have covered on the show. It all reveals the killer way too soon. And this one at least like kind of kept you guessing towards the end, but as the body count dwindled, it was like, all right, it's very obviously one of two people.
Right.
And you're like,
especially because they had them dress in basically the uniform too. You know, it dwindled down. And at first, I'll say that I had seen this movie before, and I don't think I remembered the killer the first time around, like when I revisited this time. But then I wound up mistakenly doing the trivia and the research for this prior to, like, to get it out of the way. So there is a trivia. I'll hold it to the end who it is, but the actor who actually played the killer.
Or try to.
Yeah,
we always slip up.
Right. Well, I don't know. We'll see. The actor who played the killer. They tried to keep it a secret on set as to who the killer was the entire time, too. But then the actor playing it knew that he had to get fitted for the final, like, arm, like, rip-off that happens. So he was like, well, it says the killer gets his arm ripped off, and I'm getting my arm ripped off. I know it's me. But he held it a secret.
Oh, that's good on him.
Really cool. So, as we said, this
movie...
movie...
he was a nerd in high school.
Yeah, right?
I can keep it secret.
I can keep it to myself.
Shut up.
Right? No, you mean high school for him, which was like 1950, because he looks older than the rest of the cast?
They're all supposed to be 20, between like... Well, okay.
They're in their early 20s.
Yeah.
Because the mayor still calls them
They're about
kids.
24, 25.
Yeah,
I would say.
Right? Which is great.
The whole reasoning, the whole motive thing.
Well,
it was
a lot of
definitely
reviews. I'm going to put it out
knew.
there, guys. If you're looking for our new, 5-star review portion that we've started in the past couple episodes, this one, I could not find any. So there won't be any at the end of this episode. But I can comment and say that so many people praise this film in the reviews for being like, I liked it that, it seemed like early 20s and not just adults playing teenagers. And I'm like, yeah, but when you really think about it, Friday the 13th, a year before, they didn't really put an age on those kids either. And I always assumed they were like young 20s.
Yeah.
I never was like, that's teenagers like teaching camp. I'm
well,
like,
this movie had like a weird, like they called them kids, but then it like seemed like they kind of might be underage, but then they're constantly drinking. And then I was like, wasn't the drinking age changed at some point? And then I was like, no, it's changed before the 81s. 81s. All the 81 years.
Yeah, all those 81s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, our first scene.
So,
which we see in the trailer.
Yes. Yes.
But we never learn who it is. Like, we learn who the killer is, but we don't. This girl just bites it, and we're like, whoops.
Yeah. So our first scene, we see two people, and basically they're walking around in a mine in full miner's gear with gas mask, and then they just decide to stop. They put their tools down, and they get to fucking. Which is very interesting because it seems like everyone doesn't have a place to have sex. They can only have sex in the mine in this movie.
Okay, but also with this
Mhm.
and knowing the ending, did the person that well, it's a he. Did the person that he killed know the person? Also, what kind of like sexual stuff are they into? Like sexy miners mining and fucking.
Right? And I'm gonna fondle your
And then-
like breathing hose.
Yeah, what did he do with her body? Like I expected somewhere later. I know the heart. I know where the heart goes.
Mhm.
I got that one.
Yeah.
But like I expected him to like find it later as they're like going through the tunnels, or like maybe he dropped
That'd
it
have
in
been
the
nice.
60 feet of water.
Yeah, but then again, like nobody other than like the next scene seems to mention or miss this person.
Yeah. It's like she was a town over girl.
Well, they said she's a newbie or something or a rookie. So
I thought they were talking about the people in the tunnels. They're like,
they
oh,
were,
they're
and she was
rookies.
one of them. Apparently.
Oh, she was a
'Cause-
worker in the
yeah.
mines? Oh, she was really pretty.
No, wait, they said no women allowed in the mine.
Yeah, I know. They were talking about the other miners that were rookies. You know the
Yeah,
guy that had the
you're
weird
right.
silver tooth?
Yeah, yeah.
The
Yeah.
the hanging decapitation, which I was like, no one's got that much force.
I
I don't care what your body does.
That one is it's still apparently that one made no sense back in the day. We'll get there. We'll get there. But like, yeah.
like a champagne bottle.
So yeah, we have two people. They're dressed in full miner's garb, and they're about to sleep with each other. The girl decides to take off her mask and her gear, and she's in a white bra and panties, and has this little tattoo heart.
I hate the word
right?
panties, but at the same time, we're going to be saying it a lot next ep. Or last ep. The gay ep.
No, we said it a lot last episode. Yeah. So
I'm just off the rails.
yeah. So she tries to take off his mask, and he's like, right?
So then she just gives a hand job to his hose. And not his penis hose, like the hose leading to his mouth. She's like,
But he's digging it.
"Ooh."
Like his head like rolls back as if he's like, right?
Oh, that reminds me of my penis.
And then he's like, I'm gonna start grabbing your breast, but when I grab your breast, I see this heart. And he's like, heart?
Yeah.
Like his hand stops molesting her breast, and then is just like, I see the heart, and starts shaking.
Yeah.
And then prior to them actually starting to undress, he took a pickaxe and
threw it on the wall.
well, yeah, jabbed it into a wall.
Right next to her. I'd be like, oop, okay, red flag.
Right? A little violent. I like a harsh spanking.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Ooh.
Thanks. And yeah, they obviously knew each other.
Isn't her name Anastasia?
Is it?
No.
What? Oh. Okay, stop doing 50 Shades things. That was last week. It's good.
Sexual.
So he then grabs her and then pushes her into the other side of the pick that isn't.
Like Silent Night, Deadly Night. There are a weird amount of parallels between this and Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Well, I could assume that Silent Night was watching and taking notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I
Not
think
good
I think
enough,
they
but-
all were. You
Yeah.
know, like as things progress, you can start noticing you're gonna run out of,
Yeah.
of like kills eventually. You're gonna run out because the boiling water thing then was done a year later in Halloween 2, just in a like hospital bath spa that
Yeah.
was boiling. Same thing, same
Why
like
would you
melty
make it
face
that
and everything.
hot?
Yeah.
Some old person's gonna jump in there.
No,
Actually,
he
that
made
has
it that
happened.
hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Once an old lady,
They were
though-
in it. He made it hot, which lured one of the people out of it to be
I
like, "Oh, I
remember.
gotta check," and he
See,
strangles that guy.
My only knowledge of Halloween 2 is you and
Me
another
playing it.
coworker were watching it in a van.
Yeah.
While I'm in the back of the van dying because I have an exposed nerve in my mouth from a broken tooth. I was like, "Oh, shut off the damn movie!" Like so mad about everything. Everything hurt from like all of my face to everywhere, and eventually I just left work. I was like, "I can't do this
Right?
anymore."
I'm over here being like, "It's a great movie."
And I'm
You're
like,
like,
"I wanna
hate
kill
you.
him."
I hate you so much.
2 days later, tooth ripped out of my skull. Everything's fine. Fitted for a
Nice.
tooth on Monday. Proud of me.
We gotta
Anyway.
get past the first scene here.
So he throws her on the axe. It comes through her heart, but she also, like, mind you, if you stab someone in the heart, you're most likely also stabbing their lungs. But she lets out a yell that is like, I have 2 functioning lungs, never smoked a thing in my life besides probably a dick or 2 because I look like I would. I'm not talking about myself. Otherwise, I'd say 50 or 60.
She looks like a
but-
trashy, like 80s porn star. Is
Yeah.
what she looks like.
So, but she lets out a real good scream for being impaled.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
then we move into the title sequence, which is a like My Bloody Valentine,
Just
and a
as
cartoon
yep.
blood drop. It's like boop, beep.
Yeah, and both O's are hearts,
Yeah.
and it's cute,
My Bloody.
right? Has the copyright at the bottom. I always love that,
Don't
like
forget.
from old stuff. Yeah,
It's ours.
And then it also lets you know that today is Thursday, February 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we then go into these kids. We've introduced the majority of like miners, the male miners, right?
Yeah.
They've come up from the mines.
They're taking a shower together.
Yeah, it's very homoerotic.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Billy!
Oh, and they are touching each other.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they aren't like
Got your dick!
doing jabs. They're like, ha ha, sucked you off. Whoa, crazy. Like, they're like smacking each other around. Touching. So much
Tap your
touching.
balls!
Yeah. And we also get introduced to the mechanic of we hang up our suits and then they bat. Like, they just turn into bats and hang off the ceiling somehow. Like, just get a locker system.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, somehow their mining suits hang above them
I
on
assume
hooks.
that was a thing. There's no way that wasn't a thing.
I don't know mining. I don't know if you can
I'm
tell.
not a mineralogist.
I'm not a minologist. I don't know. But yeah, and then like to the left there are like showers that instead of just having shower heads, they were like, what if we had exposed pipes and just crimped the edges?
Yeah.
Like
so
we
they
just smashed
spray.
it a bit, so it just kind of shoots water everywhere.
Right? Some are like
Very
bloop, bloop,
low
bloop,
tech.
bloop,
Yeah.
bloop.
One guy's shower's like someone drooling on him. The other
Yeah.
one is just like a full force, like waterfall. The guy's like, ow, ow,
Ripping
ow,
his
ow.
skin
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Ow. It's also shooting out rocks.
So they're ragging on each other. It's also been established through a couple jokes that there is our main character TJ and another main character named Axel. Right now, TJ and Axel have a rivalry because don't.
It was more of an accent than a mistake.
Yeah.
They got themselves a rivalry.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, it fits in. This
Yeah.
movie has plenty of
They
accents.
do have a rivalry though. But so yeah, they're fine for it. Like it keeps doing this too. Like throughout the movie, like they're fine. Then all of a sudden they're like, wait, we're fighting, and they like
hate
get
you.
mad at each other again. But
Yeah.
then they're like, ha 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 ha, jokes, touching dicks in showers. Wait, we hate each other. Like it goes back and forth the entire movie between those two.
And what we'll learn through the next couple of scenes is that basically TJ used to date our main our
Final girl.
final girl. Thank you. Yes, our final girl Sarah, and then TJ left for better things in California.
Well, they just say like on the West Coast.
We
Which,
all know.
For a second, I was like,
Ain't nobody going to better things in Portland.
no, but I was thinking like still because the movie. I don't think it's supposed to take place in Canada, but they
Right.
obviously are all Canadian, filmed in Canada.
No, it definitely is. Moosehead's a huge sponsor, apparently. It's all throughout this
so
film.
it, like 100% is taking place in Canada?
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. Right? It was filmed in Nova Scotia,
Okay.
right? And in a mine in Nova Scotia, which fun fact is they scouted this mine out and they were like, this is perfect, it's dark, it's dingy, it's dreary, and then the town basically once it was booked was all excited to be like, oh, they're filming a thing here, and it's going to bring in tourism after the movie, and they decided to spend $55,000 to clean up the mine.
Oh.
And so that when they arrived on day one of principal photography, was like, what did you do? And they were like, we cleaned it up for you. And they're like, why would you do this?
We wanted it bad.
Yeah, so then they had to spend $75,000
no.
of their budget to get it back to the way they wanted it to look.
Just throw a few rocks. It'll look bad.
Right?
Just break a window. It's okay.
Yeah.
Which they probably did for the commissary door at the mining town, which just made me so mad.
Yeah, why was
like, just fix your door. It's so stupid. Don't put a piece of wood
fix
over
your
it.
door, God.
But it was funny because whenever they kept saying like, "Oh, you went out west," I imagine he just went to the west of Canada, which I don't think has anything besides Alaska, and that's kind of northwest of Canada. So I was like, "Where's
Could you
he
imagine
going?"
if he went out west and he went to Alaska and was like, this isn't Hollywood.
Wow, California looks cold.
I just kept going west.
So they
Wow,
they all
weird.
leave. They leave work and they go to like the town.
I didn't
dance
finish
hall?
the establishment. TJ
right.
went west.
Yeah.
He was dating Sarah. And he didn't tell anybody he was leaving. He just left, right? So they were like, he just left. So Sarah moved on and started dating Axel. Now TJ is back because he couldn't cut it.
Yeah.
Zing.
And he was like,
that's not a spoiler.
I feel like such a failure.
Right.
I couldn't write you a letter. I felt bad. And I was like, what?
Yeah, we'll get there.
All right. I send my friends
and now he's
texts all the
back,
time.
and he wants Sarah back.
Yeah.
And so there's this whole rivalry of like, you know who Sarah really wants, right? And you're like, I don't think she wants either.
I know.
Really.
I was like, throughout the movie, Sarah's just kind of like, I don't know what to do because you're both shit. Like, but you're my only options in this town.
I have no options. Either that, or it's
You've got
Ginger, or the comedian, or the guy who looks like he has Down syndrome. Like, what am I gonna do?
These two people have the most teeth in their mouth combined. Like,
yeah.
together
right.
they have a full set of teeth. So I don't know what to do. I want them both.
Right.
Jeez.
Oh no, you're absolutely right because that's the options of people in this town.
I straight up couldn't tell if one guy had a silver tooth or it was just a tooth that was rotten chilling in his head.
I think it was just rotten.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, in one scene it kind of shined, but that also probably just could have been like the bacteria
gleam?
on it, like
Yeah.
the slime coating on his tooth.
Oh,
It's
okay.
soft.
So they all go ahead and they last one to the bar, and they all go to the bar, right? Meanwhile, the sheriff gets or is it the sheriff or the mayor? They all
go to the dance hall.
They would go to the dance hall. Sorry, yeah.
And the girls are setting up for the Valentine's Day dance, and we also get some like.
It's basically just a scene to be like, this girl belongs to this guy.
Yeah,
right.
Extremely. And then there are also like two young dudes that are new minors that like. One of them is the hottest guy of the film, but then
Which one's this?
he's young. He's the one. He gets his face boiled.
Oh, that guy.
He was really handsome,
Yeah,
like subtly
80s Thai.
handsome. But then he
Yeah.
also was like, "I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get out of this town." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you do you." And then he was like, "Hot dog water," like, and he died.
in the most abrupt, non-suspenseful kill of the whole movie.
I was kind of sad too.
Right? I felt like something was cut there.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything's established. This guy has this guy, or like this guy's a comedian and he's not going to get any girl.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the comedian guy did have the girlfriend.
No, he
She
didn't.
had the dress that was slit down to here and slid up to here. I
Mm-mm.
thought that was his girlfriend. And she was like,
No.
"I don't want to leave him."
Slits. That's not the comedian. That's the big guy with the mustache.
Oh, I thought he was the comedian.
No, that's Nail
Oh,
Gun Kill.
comedian is the guy that
Comedian
has the
is
tooth.
the hanging guy by
Yeah,
the
he's
end.
got the tooth.
Yeah,
Okay.
right? He's the guy who, and why we say comedian is because this is a trope in all these horror movies.
Yeah.
You have one guy that's playing pranks on people. Usually it's a, I'm dead, I got stabbed.
See,
like,
I thought they
prank.
were all trying to prank each other because they were just like,
but
bro-y
this guy is,
and, yeah.
because this guy is sexually harassing people,
Oh,
being
yeah.
like, hey, you know, how about you go out with me? what do you think of this dick?
Yeah.
You know, like basically.
He said
right?
that in the showers though, and everyone was like, "We get it. You're
Yeah.
uncircumcised, not like the rest of us."
We get it. You're a tube snake. We get it. It's an eel with a skin.
Yeah. All right, Loch
okay.
Ness monster, pull it in.
It's one of those squishy things from
Ew,
the 90s.
the ones that slide everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, something that's not in the movie, and we're just on a weird dick tangent now.
That's my entire life.
I'm on a weird dick tangent
Yeah.
my whole life. So okay. Oh God, we are.
Yeah. Not as bad as others. So they help the girls. They establish who's with who, and then we also get introduced to the mayor, the sheriff. No, the mayor, the sheriff,
The mayor alone.
owner of the coal mine. Is the owner of the coal mine the sheriff too? It's TJ's dad.
No. Well, he's the mayor. Basically.
TJ's dad is the mayor and the owner of the coal mine?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we also get introduced to like the
Mabel.
secretary Mabel that is also an owner of a laundry shop.
Yes, she is a laundromat owner, but also is running the rec hall.
Yeah.
And Mabel is in charge of like helping these kids decorate, and she's in charge of putting on the first Valentine dance in 20 years.
Yeah.
Why we don't know yet. because that's the bartender's job to tell people in the movie why.
He's exposition Ted.
Yes, you're doomed, right? But with rhyming.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, it's established that somebody has left a gift for the mayor, right? And they're like, Mayor, somebody left this for you.
For the sheriff.
Right. No, for the mayor.
Why does the sheriff open it?
The
sheriff
mayor does not open it.
Okay, yeah, he does.
Okay, so the mayor and the sheriff are talking about being like, just be on high alert. It's been 20 years. We keep hearing this 20-year thing, right? Meanwhile,
first time decorating in a town called Valentine.
Yeah, Valentine's Bluff is the name of the town, right? And
what
I was
is
like,
it
what are
bluffing?
they lying
We don't
about? We know what they're lying about.
We both went for stupid jokes.
Yeah. So the mayor is riding shotgun in the sheriff's car and is like, I haven't gotten a Valentine in a long time, right? Opens it up and he's like, oh, what's the note? And the note says, from the heart comes a warning with bloody good cheer. Remember what happened as the 14th draws near. And he's like, well, that's weird. All right. And then opens the wrapping more, and there's a human heart. Ah, right. I love his response though. He's like so not shocked. He's just like, oh God, no, not again.
Hearts are the worst.
God. Oh God, can't somebody just do a normal cardboard heart? Right? Every year, human heart. I'm so sick of it.
Terrible.
Right? I love the killer's MO in this movie though. Yeah. Right? It's just like, oh God, I gotta go to the store and I gotta buy some Valentines. Then I gotta think of a clever rhyme that has to do with the kill I'm about to do. And like, it just keeps going.
I gotta rip their heart out.
Right?
Sometimes hide little gifts in them.
Then I gotta write another poem for the mayor about don't do the dance. Like it just goes on like this because later on he does the kill in the laundromat. He writes one for the victim and then writes one for the sheriff.
I know.
It's like he's just a whole day of being like, remember the 14th of November? No, that's V for Vendetta.
Dang it,
God,
I got
damn
it wrong again.
Remember.
Valentine's
roses are blue. Oh God,
shit.
Fuck.
I wish I wasn't colorblind.
So after that, we're taking over. Everybody went to the bar after hours, and this is where the bartender is giving the entire backstory of the movie. So the bartender explains that 20 years ago, in Valentine's Night 1960, a whole bunch of miners 7 miners to be exact, were working inside the mines during the Valentine's Day dance.
But their supervisors were too excited, and they left them and went to the dance without checking the methane levels.
Right.
So stupid. 'Cause why would grown adults be excited about a Valentine's Day dance? But it was the 60s, so I don't know. Maybe they were nerds.
I don't think kids aren't even excited about a Valentine's Day dance.
It's not a fun holiday.
Oh, God, this is where I'm going to sit on the bleachers for 4 hours.
And then it's like the methane blew up the mine and it collapsed them, but everyone kept dancing. It's like what they make it, like they paint it to be like, we didn't know because the bass was so loud. So then they they dig for, how long did they dig?
They said for days. I don't know.
They set a specific time frame that I was like, that's way too much. They were like 30 weeks or something.
Oh no, but it makes sense because what they then found was Harry Warden. Harry Warden was the sole survivor, and why he survived, he killed the other 6 people and ate them.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense.
Or they died and he ate them, but he could have killed them and ate them.
I'm pretty sure he killed them.
Yeah.
Right? Because now he's got a taste for blood.
But they uncover like the one rock left, and they see his face, and it shows him eating an arm. And then he just looks up and goes, "Bah!" He just yells like,
right? And to me, I see that guy and I go, I'm not pretty sure that he is qualified to do the next part of the story.
Yeah.
So they commit him to a psych ward, and apparently he breaks out a year later on Valentine's Day and kills the 2 supervisors responsible for not checking the methane levels and leaving them.
And he like removes their hearts and leaves them at the dance, and they're like, "We found those hearts at the dance."
It seems like,
all right, cool.
And the thing is that you would think it's like, oh, he killed a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
But he just killed the 2 people responsible. I feel like
well, then
that's
he also
it.
killed and ate the other 6 people. So.
Yeah, but they were like necessary for
8.
food. But
Okay, well, I'm never getting trapped with you.
right, somebody's got to go. Rum ham.
I'm very sinewy. It's not going to be fun. Don't eat me.
He's bitter.
Yeah.
That's been my whole life.
I know.
But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, Harry Warden accomplished the kills that he needed to, and there'd be no need for him to come back. It'd be one thing if he's like, he killed everybody at the dance the next year.
Yeah.
You know, or something.
But
where it's like
I
he
guess,
just went on a psychopathic rampage, then I'd be like, oh, yeah, it's Harry Warden in this film, right? For the new kills 20 years later.
What a stupid name, too.
Harry Warden.
I'm Harry Warden. Like, yeah, you probably should have been left down there in the hole. Yeah, and then...
What a stupid name his mother had named.
So we get all that done, and the bartender's like, you shouldn't be partying. Bah! Heed my warning. And you're like, all right, bartender.
Yeah, but he's
calm
also
this shit
rhyming.
down.
He's like, on this day, 14 years ago, like, I can't rhyme with ago right now.
Valentine's really did blow.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, why is
rhyming. I don't
he
know.
pretending to be Dr. Seuss?
You know how long he's probably been in that bar and drinking?
The Cage was the name of the bar.
Yeah.
The Cage.
Like, ugh. Just
Right?
call it like...
Don't call it the Mine Shaft. That's
a gay bar in
I
Long
know.
Beach. I was like, really don't call it that. Otherwise, it'll be a lot different of a crowd, and I'm sure no one up in that place will be happy. Hey, get these gays out of here, don't you know?
So, meanwhile, everybody has a weird song that they all know about Harriet the barmaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just weird though.
I know.
Like, because they all know it, which means they made it up at a prior time and they're all singing. It's like a sea chanty, right?
That's me and my friends have made up songs.
Yeah, but like this?
Get your shit together, run that extra mile.
Well,
you know you can do it if you try, child. Get
that
your
sounds
shit
like a
together.
real song.
Yeah, I know. That's because me and my friends are talented.
So
We also really like to make nursery rhymes into like hip hop songs. Like a tisket, a tasket, I put it in your basket. Put it in my basket, I'll put it in your basket. He put it in my basket.
okay.
That's a tisket, a tasket.
I mean, I get it, but one, I've never heard you do this, right? And two,
you've never heard me sing daily
I
today?
sing random shit too.
Okay, I love it.
I'm like typing on my keyboard,
Yeah.
you know, but like not this is this is a sea chanty they have written, where they're just like, okay, I'm just gonna play it, and you guys can hear it.
There's a young barmaid named Harriet who's never been robbed of her chariot. Oh, try as she may, this girl can't get a Valentine virgin named Harriet.
So that was the sea chanty.
Poor
Right?
Harriet.
Right?
Like, what did she do?
Yeah, right? Like they're making fun of her like cherry. Like they're saying like she's still a virgin, right? And it's like, Jesus Christ. Like this whole town and right before this somebody else sexually harasses her. Like I get it that this is the 80s and it happens more, but god damn, like even Canada's like we're not nice.
But also in like the cast on like the top maybe 10 billed people, the main actor, a guy named John, and then the person that plays Harriet, they don't have headshots. Everyone else was like, we had a career after this. So it's kind of like they beat Harriet when she was down.
Yeah.
Poor Harriet.
Yeah. So now we move over to Mabel, who is running her laundromat at night.
Mabel was able to wash all your clothes.
There once was a girl named Mabel.
Every scene just kind of starts with a new sea chant for each character.
It's just Valentine's rhymes and Dr. Seuss things.
God,
right?
It's so stupid.
Who washed all her clothes when she was able.
But she's being like watched through a window, and it's always that like that one scene where it's like, look, we can tell that someone's watching her because the camera moves funky, or like part of the camera's obstructed by like a corner.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like the watching camera.
There were some good watching cameras back in the day that like turned out to be another person, not the killer.
This one threw me off though because it looked like she's in a completely different establishment, and then he moves over to a window on like the other side, and it looks like another different store.
Yeah.
And I was like, how does that happen? But then this next scene is all point of view. He like walks in and like sets a box of hearts on the table, and then like backs away from it.
So this is this is the most elaborate version of the kill. Like, I wish all the rest of the kills were as themed. Like, I feel like that would have been hilarious if like the rest of the movie
it's
did
very
this.
Sarah Michelle Gellar's
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, it's very much that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But Sarah Michelle Gellar, she did it better.
Oh, than Mabel.
Oh, I love Sarah Michelle Gellar.
50-year-old woman here.
I'm some SMG for sure.
Sure, I know.
So cool.
You and Scooby Doo. Yeah.
Okay, Buffy's also great.
I've never seen it. So. Like I said, what an elaborate way to kill somebody is like, I gotta go to the store, I gotta buy a shaped box.
He
for
probably
every single
bought a
person.
lot last year when they were on sale.
Right?
He looks like a forward thinker.
Yeah.
Axel.
But then again, like Valentine's Day, like stuff.
I told you I'd ruin it.
Yeah. Valentine's Day stuff isn't that expensive anyway. I mean, it's just paper and stuff.
I mean, you can get a box of chalk hearts.
For how much?
That's them. 49 cents.
Oh.
And that's like in season.
Right.
So I'm sure
in season.
I'm sure like tomorrow, like I'm sure day of Valentine's Day, they're going to be like 20 cents if you like.
So he got them on February 14th. I mean 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he waited, but he also probably ate all those chocolates.
He had. Well, that's another thing. Like
just throwing up between kills.
I need so much chocolate. Oh God, I'm allergic to chocolate too.
I wasted my paycheck on this.
You know how much a miner makes? Oh God,
shitting his pants.
So he she hears something, and then he like jumps out. It's like. And, like, he's breathing like Darth Vader through this whole thing. Right? And, which is cool, because, like, you know when it's, like, POV that it is him, because they actually add the sound.
It also, like, kind of got a little sexy with the breathing. I was like, oh. Because he's like... And it happened in the first scene, too. I was like, he's about to blow for some reason.
Well, she was touching his chest and everything.
His hose, his air hose.
Right? Which was not his boundaries, apparently.
Yeah.
And, right? Throwing in inside jokes to other episodes, assuming you've listened to them all. See? We made up a song right there. But it didn't rhyme like the rest of this movie.
We'll get one later. We'll establish it.
Oh, my God. We're like manic today.
I know.
So he chases her and then just, like, pickaxe her.
Yeah.
You know? And then,
this is one that you don't see happen.
You don't see.
Like, even
because,
in the uncut one.
Right, because the next part of it
the uncircumcised
is
version.
Yeah. The next part of it is the real payoff to this kill anyway, right?
Which we kind of expected.
Right? So right before he attacked her, he wrote her a card, and it said, "Roses are red, violets are blue, one is dead, and so are you." Right? I love how, like, she reads the whole thing, and, like, she reads roses are red, violets are blue, right? And then hesitates and pauses and basically reads the rest to herself, right? And it's like, oh, what? Right? And then proceeds to read the rest out to us. Like, they couldn't have just... Because then they do a lot of redundancy in this movie.
Yeah.
Where they're like, okay, we're going to read it out, and then we're going to show it too. Like, they didn't need to. They could have just zoomed in on the, and so are you, right? But she needed to read it out to us too.
She should have just read it out on her own. Like
the first
start.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, stopped, like, kind of like, and so are you what? You know? Like, nothing. No. She goes, roses are red, violets are blue. one is dead and so are you.
Like, oh gosh, dramatic effect.
Like, yeah.
Hey-o.
And then he's like, hey, did you get my Valentine?
Right.
Stabs her, and then the next scene goes on. So now we're over at a junkyard.
Yes.
And all the boys have decided to cook food on a running car engine.
Yeah, it's like,
Why? Why did they leave the bar?
do they all live in the junkyard in different cars? Because that's kind of what it seems like.
Right?
Like, and then he's rev the engine, it'll cook faster.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, it's a science. And he's like, you didn't get me roast beef, you got me turkey. And I was like, this is the important
Right.
stuff, folks.
So Alex is away from the rest of the crowd, and he's sulking.
Alex?
Axel, sorry.
I was like, dyslexia?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. Hey, how you doing, Jard?
Damn it.
So I like that one. I'm sorry, Jared.
I don't even have a D in my name.
I know.
That's the worst part.
So Axel is sitting in a rundown Camaro.
Yeah.
And he just starts playing the harmonica, and then TJ decides to climb into the passenger seat of said rundown Camaro, which Axel's like, no, and scoots out.
Yeah.
And then starts playing his harmonica on the outside of it, and TJ's like,
Me too.
I'm gonna pull out my harmonica, right? And I love the next line. He's like, we got ourselves a problem here, don't we? And I wanted the next line to be like, yeah, we're both playing harmonica.
Because it even, like, as it starts, they don't, it's like they're not playing the same song, and it's not even, like, same songs with, like...
Yeah, I thought it was
or
going to be a
different
competition.
songs with, like, same beats or something. Like, it's just two different songs, like... Because harmonicas already don't sound cool.
No.
It's the
not at
worst.
all.
I hate it so much.
Well, it is very, like, backwoods, West Virginia-y, like,
Yeah.
kind of thing, which, like, this, I want to say that this movie doesn't want to say it's not Canada.
Yeah.
That sounded crazy the way I put it. But,
Well,
like,
it happens in a lot of movies. They just avoid saying that they are Canada.
right.
Like, it's a trope in a lot of if you we both watch Mystery Science Theater, but
Mhm.
every time like there's a Canadian movie, like you can violently tell that it's Canadian, but the movie never talks about it, but they always make jokes about it because they're like, oh, it's Canada, all right. But like films just don't. If it takes place in Canada, they don't establish it in Canada. They're like, oh, I swear we're to the south.
Only hosers cook things on car engines, yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
Yes, best accent I've ever done. So after this, we switch over to the sheriff. He's the chief, actually, because his name. He's like a new chief, by the way. Like he hasn't been there the whole time because he wasn't there for the 60 incident, which is why he needs things kind of explained to him.
Yeah.
But then you find out that his name is Chief Newby. I swear, Newbey.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
No, it's there. I swear.
Chief,
Newby.
Chief Newbie. Oh, okay.
Right? I was like, really? Chief Newby? Really?
Yeah.
So Chief Newby goes into the laundromat to go talk to Mabel about canceling the dance because some scenes that we kind of glazed over here is that they tried to see if there was any record of Harry Warden like being recommitted or where he might be now after the whole 1960 and 61 incident.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have no record of Harry Warden ever being here, which is weird and never actually explained why they have no record of that. But they also...
Well, they say, like, oh, files could have been destroyed, or if he was transferred, we didn't keep files. 'Cause
Right.
during that time, it was very much like, even with police departments...
anything
they
goes.
didn't- Yeah.
Yeah,
Police
right?
departments didn't actually talk
Right.
to each other about cases.
We have a record of,
Until
like, about
recently. It's
20 people
crazy.
here that are
Yeah.
innocent. So, like, do you want those? No,
Right.
we don't want those.
I know.
Right?
These are people
They're
that are
mostly
still here.
black.
Once we get rid of a person, we just delete their files because we don't care. It's like,
Right.
oh, no. Bad times. Bad.
We have that guy you really didn't like and you had committed. Do you want that one? No. Keep them there. So, they also go to the coroner, and the coroner's like, "Yep, this is definitely Harry Warden's work." And I'm like, "How do you murder is murder? How do you know?" What?
Did we say that we find her in a dryer?
We're about to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we at the coroner?
No, I was explaining the past things. The coroner is holding the heart of the first victim, the one from the beginning of the movie.
Yes. Wait, so they did. Oh, yeah. They visited the coroner, but
Yeah.
they didn't have a body. The coroner's like, it's human, but like, what?
Yeah. But what?
Yeah.
And so everybody that's why they haven't had a dance in 20 years is because of this Harry Warden thing. And the chief is like, you know what? Let me talk to Mabel. Maybe we should put a halt on this until we figure out what's going on, right? He goes to Mabel, and
She's not able.
right? And she's just not there. But there's 2 dryers running. How long have these dryers been running?
Yeah, okay, that's the other thing, because she was killed at night. And
Right.
It's definitely morning. Which I
Right.
was like, she was either doing like early laundry before
Super
6
long
a.m.
spin cycle.
Yeah, like she started at 5:30 a.m. and then they came in at like 8 a.m. is the only reasonable explanation, but it very much appears
You're
that
giving a dryer a 2-hour benefit of the doubt here.
I swear maybe during that time. I don't know. I'm not a dryerologist.
I just like was there like, oh god, oh the chief's coming, turn on the dryer, let's get out of here, come on.
He's like waiting and he's like, and start.
Right? He'd been cooking her for a while, but it was like, oh, she's finished, she's been done for a while, it stinks in here.
So
like, which they mention, which is very interesting on the realism side of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the chief comes in and he's like, Mabel, you here?
And he like keeps doing like, oh,
right.
oh. But I
And-
also know, we've talked about this before, burnt bodies are supposed to smell like cooking turkey.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
weird.
I know.
Oh,
So he probably was like, Thanksgiving. Valentine's roast.
I'm getting my holidays confused.
What's happening?
Right?
And then so he opens one dryer and there's like decorations drying because
This
there's
reminds
a
me
paint
of Jerry
incident.
Darden in Thanksgiving.
And then
Just everything rhymes.
and then he opens up the second one and you can clearly tell that like the window of the second one is like splattered red.
Oh yeah, he goes right past it.
And
Right?
he's like, what's
The
over
thing
there?
that tips him
What's
off is
over
like
here?
weird. Somebody turned all the paper hearts
Yeah.
upside down, which is another elaborate thing. He's like,
Yeah.
nope, gotta turn these upside down.
I thought it was going to be like a mini mystery where he sees one heart upside down and he'd like rip it off and there'd be a poem behind that. Because I was like, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
A little forward thinking for its time. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And then he opens the dryer and like,
But this upside down heart thing doesn't
Yeah.
really come back other than when it was in the flashback.
Yeah.
Too, right? So there's a lot of things set up, like in this kill, that don't really go past this kill.
yeah.
You know? This is upside down heart thing and like leaving a note for the victim, go away after this kill. They're both here for this kill and never come back.
Yeah.
The putting a heart in a box keeps coming back to warn the sheriff, but nothing else comes back after that.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's a free-for-all by the end. Like, he's like, I ran out of, like, Valentines. I was going to use the Ninja Turtle ones, but I
buy
didn't think
enough.
they were appropriate. Like,
I can't fit a heart in a chalky heart box.
would you like some Star Wars Valentines?
So then he opens the dryer.
You're
and
looking
her-
for love in Alderaan places?
Alderaan.
Come on.
Oh, no. I was like, who's Ron? Where was he in Star Wars? You meant Alderaan. I get it. So then, yeah, he...
R2, me too. I see 3P love you.
I'm going to kill you. R2, me too. I spiked on that one. Oh, my God. Anywho. Any gay.
Come on, it was 1981, so Empire had just come out, right? In love with me,
He
you
just
are.
struck back. Empire just struck back. What? So that's my thing. You get to be ashamed of. He opens up a dryer and her body
My
falls
heart
out
is like the Death Star. It's exploding with love.
I'm so mad. I just threw the one pin I had to play with at you. Now I have nothing to play with.
There's some Play-Doh.
Yeah.
So,
Anywho, opens up the dryer and she pops out like woo, but she's all burnt.
Yeah.
And they're like,
which is a
"Yikos."
great effect.
Yeah.
The director mentioned, and I wish I wish they had mentioned which effect, right? But apparently, the special effects supervisor that did this, there was one effect that actually made the director throw up.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm just curious what it is. It might be this one. This is a full body effect here.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, she pops out of the dryer when he opens it, and the dryer's still spinning,
Well,
which
her
also
body
is
does.
not a thing.
Yeah.
Dryers don't keep spinning. Like,
Yeah.
it just,
But
it's
her
like,
body stays still, so it's just like clunk, 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 clunk. She
Yeah.
eventually, why not just hit stop? Like,
but I don't. Dryers don't keep spinning. You open the door; it's
Yeah.
a safety thing, or else your clothes would be just like,
easy access.
right? But in this one, her body keeps spinning, and then like you see it just charred up, and it looks like something from like The Walking Dead. It's just like it's completely just burnt to a crisp, and you're just like,
well,
this
I mean,
is
she could have
awesome.
used probably like another hour or two in there, and then she would have been ready. Harry would have been real
Put
happy
it on
with that
more
food.
dry.
Yeah, he would have been like, "She's tasty now." I
Mhm.
had to eat it raw before, but this is cooked. Yeah. So then like, we get some emergency people in there, but then the cops like take her out back. If people see this, they'll think something's up. Remember, she died of a heart attack. So then, yeah.
I never understand this. This happens in like sleepaway camp. This happens in so many where like the authorities are aware that there might be an issue of like a mass murder or something, right? And they always consistently, I mean, yeah, it's a horror trope.
But
they
don't want panic.
They don't want panic, but like maybe being aware would cancel the stupidity. You know, like whatever stupid thing. The only time when like they go against, like they are fully aware what's going on and they still go against it is like Scream 1.
Yeah.
You know, where they're like, we're still going to have a party. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck the principal. Like everything, you know?
Well,
like
that principal was an ass.
well, you know, he jumped the shark a long time ago.
Yeah.
Winkler. So, but I saw the Valentine's Bluff population, which said 3,000 and change, right? That's 3,000 people. There's not going to be...
That's so tiny.
Yeah, even if it's panic, it's like... it's manageable, even with like one sheriff and like
Your
it looks like one deputy.
Going to be like, oh no.
Yeah, like if anything, you're gonna have like a pitchfork on your hands, like of people, like a riot of people looking for Harry. Right?
Or everyone could get together at the dance and stay calm. But then you might have something like Ghost Ship. So clean wire straight across.
Yeah, that's the only good part about Ghost Ship.
It was really cool.
Oh,
that
that montage too. That like
Yeah.
flashback montage. Pretty awesome.
God, so bummer.
Everything else sucks. Anyway, it just reminded me of
other
like
bad
3
movies on
other
this
movies
bad
we
movie.
should add
Yeah.
to the list.
Oh, I hated Ghost Ship.
Ghost Ship
Once-
and Virus should be on there.
Me and my friends couldn't find Titanic at a video store, so we were like, well, we'll watch Ghost Ship instead.
Yeah, I mean that's
Clean
like
alternative.
after Titanic. It's Titanic 2, right?
And we knew full well what we were doing. We were like, this is stupid. And then it was 3 of us, and we were like, you ever shotgun a beer? Like, this was how you knew we were underage. Because we were like, what is shotgunning a beer? And we did it while standing in a bathtub just to clean up the mess. A gay guy, 2 straight girls, shotgunning beers in a bathtub. Watching Ghost Ship. It's so stupid. My life is fantastic. In the middle of Illinois. We should have been murdered that night by Harry.
Right.
Yeah, so then back to our movie. He has them take her out back, trying to save the town and not have panic, even though it probably would have been fine.
Where's the red violets or blue? Shotgunning in a bathtub is stupid, and so are you.
I know. And then they tell the town that she died of a heart attack, and out of respect, they're canceling the dance.
Right.
But the teens, they're not even teens. They're full adults.
The kids, because he calls them
kids,
kids.
yeah, the
We can call
youth,
them
the kids are like, well, we should keep it going out of respect for her because she worked so hard on it. And they're like, nope, canceled. So
I like how the killer knew the word thrice in that next like warning. It's a good.
Yeah.
It happened once. It happened twice. Cancel the dance, or it'll happen thrice. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, because he found a
how
heart
ye
inside
old
of Mabel's
English
body.
Yeah.
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 Well, he didn't find her heart. He found the paper heart with the message
Right, a
on it.
paper
He's
heart.
like, wait, hold on. Let me reach inside this corpse. And everyone's like, you're disgusting.
Right.
Jesus.
And that didn't get burned up
Yeah.
in the dryer.
I know. And it didn't fall out of her chest cavity in the dryer either. I was like, this guy probably put some double stick on there. That's my favorite kind of tape, in case you're wondering.
Right.
Anywho, so then the kids are like, they go to the bar and they're like, let's just have our own party and we're going to have it, like, but where do we have it? And someone's like, well, let's just have it in, like, the common mess hall area of the mining place. And everyone's like, well, I don't know. And then TJ's like, my dad owns it. We shouldn't do this. And then everyone's like, too bad we're doing it anyway. And the bartender's like, you're all dumb children.
You're
and
doomed.
you aren't doing good. Stay home on the 14th or it'll be...
You'll be turned to wood.
Yeah. He's
Like,
a
what?
wizard, too.
I know.
But then he also... So
no,
then,
it's Ernest Scared Stupid.
yeah.
Um,
So this is the episode where we refer to every other single episode.
Right? Right?
And then...
Well, because this is a good movie, actually.
Yeah.
Like, as much time we're spending on this, once again, we need to preface, it's a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Please watch it.
I love it.
I'm going to recommend it before we're even done. So, meanwhile, TJ has basically, against her will, forced Sarah into a car. She's like, I don't want to go with you. He's like, too bad.
I know.
But, like,
He
playfully.
picks her up and throws her in, and she's like, ow, my head. Oh, my God. Ow, I hit my head. And he's like,
God, I hate you.
yeah. I don't want to be here. Are you going to murder me?
Yeah, then they go to like Lookout Point, and they have this useless romantic scene with like actual romantic like music, like la da da da. Da. Oh wait, that's
Don't-
Jurassic Park.
I was like,
sorry.
Don't taint Jurassic Park.
Like no, it's just like la 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 la.
Yeah.
Right, and he's like, I tried so hard.
It's his sad excuse moment when he's like, I wasn't making it out west because I thought Hollywood was in Canada for some reason. There's just a lot of moose. And then he was like, I failed and I couldn't write you letters because I felt like a failure. It's like, what, so you're going to wallow in your own sadness?
Yeah,
No,
you
you're
coulda
sad,
still got
talk
the
to
girl,
someone.
dude.
Jeez.
Right.
Gosh. Also, what was he going to do? It never says what he was going to do.
I was embarrassed because I just could not stop wearing denim.
Yeah.
Denim jacket,
There
denim
was
jeans. He
something-
looked like urban cowboy by the end of the movie with his like giant belt buckle. I mean, like, what are
I-
you guys doing?
I did love, though, in this movie, they went with the realism with their teeth. No one had good teeth.
No,
I was like, wow.
I think more than half of these people actually like
were minors.
We're we're in the town and we're like, hey, you look good. Yeah,
Come over here. You've been hit in the face with a shovel? Awesome.
I have.
You're the lead.
Yeah. So then this scene's pointless, but it also establishes that she still has feelings for him because she makes out with him by the end.
Yeah, but so it's stupid because the entire movie she's like, I don't know which one I want. I want both.
Right?
And then, like, we get to
TJ
this
left
scene.
me,
Yeah.
but Alex isn't talking to me.
Axel.
Axel. Whatever. It is dyslexia.
Axel.
Um,
And then, like,
it should be Alex, okay? Axel's a stupid name.
Axel is such a Kingdom Hearts name.
Axel is only for Beverly Hills Cop, okay?
But then, like, she continues to go through the movie after they have their discussion, and you think everything's okay. And then they even go to this party, and they talk about, like, oh, she's with me. No, she's with me. Like, they keep fighting about it. And it's Sarah. Like, Sarah's the one that needs to make the choice. I'm not blaming her for everything, but I'm blaming her for a lot of things.
I'm blaming her for all of Valentine's Plus murders.
Yeah. They made it clear that she needs to make a choice, and she kind of never does. She's just like, whoop, I'm in the back seat.
She doesn't really even make a choice by the end of the movie.
She doesn't. She
Okay.
still goes back to Axel at one point. I was like,
Well.
TJ's probably not happy.
Yeah, right.
Thanks.
Okay, so meanwhile, the bartender is pissed that nobody heeded his warning.
Yeah.
So he decides to go to the mine because he knows that they're going to party there later and set up a
little spook.
A little elaborate, like Ferris Bueller-esque trap that, like, you open the door and, like, a a miner's jacket and like mask and things
And
with a pickaxe. Like
he loves it.
Oh,
it is my favorite
He's checked
thing.
it out 3
He's
times.
opening the door, watching that pickaxe come towards him, closing it, opening it again, and laughing to himself. And then he opens it like a third time, and he's like, ha ha ha.
What's the goal here? I mean, like, you scare them, right? But then after you scare them and they go, oh, it's just a scare, then your warnings are still not heeded.
Yeah.
And now you just look like a moron who went through a real elaborate plan.
He thought, and he failed. But I love the attempt, because then he starts to walk away, and he's like, you know what's funny? Opening the door for a fourth time, because I am comedy.
You would think the third time would be like...
Oh, if I was proud of myself, I would keep doing it too. I know how I worked, and I would be like, I just want to do it one more time. Hold on, let me take a video for Snapchat. And then I'll post it after they get spooked, and I'll be like, I did it. But then he opens it a fourth time, and it's like, surprise, the dummy's not here anymore. The dummy's just you.
You know what makes a really good scare is when you check for the fourth time to see if it's there.
Oh, you made it work. I'm proud of you. And so then he opens the door, and
if I give you enough time to talk, I'm over here writing lines.
You're like, okay, scare, what, bear, lair, dare, where, I don't know what else. Yeah.
You're as smart as a beetle.
Why did you just go with bee? God, that's a sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he goes, he opens
People are
it
like, why don't you just do a Sunny podcast? I've done like 5 references this episode.
He opens the door, it's the real miner 49er, and then I just surprised myself with a Scooby-Doo reference.
Oh, man.
Yes, I love me. That's in Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. But he also is in the cartoon.
Now, this one and probably the shower kill are probably the most brutal and understandably...
Oh, I was accidentally eating fish sticks during this scene.
Fish sticks?
And I was like, oh, gross. And I like turned away to eat, and I looked back, and I was like, an eyeball. And I kept eating.
Oh, breaded flounder.
It's pollock. The fish is pollock.
I always thought it was flounder because it was white.
The one that I was eating, it's pollock because it's gluten free.
Yeah.
My shitty life. Anyway, so the pickaxe man, the miner, he like
the pickaxe
swings
Harry
up.
Warden.
Yeah, Harry Warden. Instead of swinging like down into his head, he swings up and does the beautiful like under the jaw, but then the pickaxe comes out of the eye socket.
Yep, because it curves, so it hits the jaw and out of the eye socket.
100% would not kill that person.
Oh no,
which makes it worse.
Yeah,
I just spat all over myself.
Yeah. No,
God.
it's brutal,
and that's why I think it's one of the most brutal ones because like that's living,
right?
That's going on,
and the eyeball is
dragged.
like stuck on the point of the pickaxe. Yeah, and almost seems the way they shot it that they were intending like as if they were almost kind of ahead of the 3D game because the 3D game didn't come out to like 83 with Friday Part 3. So this is a movie that like in a couple shots like this, he is full on like that pops out right at the camera almost. And what's interesting because the remake was the first like real 3D like the resurgence of 3D back in the the late 2000s to now. So for this movie to have like filmed it that way, it's very interesting because they do the same thing in the remake. They have an eyeball that pops right out at the camera, but it pops out even further. Well, you know. So then he just kind of drags the old man away, and you don't know what happened to him. Now the kids have decided to show up, right?
Have their party.
Having their party. So after this,
this is whenever like I was going to say this is whenever the whole movie gets on the mine train and just goes downhill. Like it just, but it speeds up, not goes downhill. It speeds up. The movie starts taking action.
Yep.
Because it's the party scene. It follows that trope. I love that trope. The young kids not heeding the warning, doing bad things.
Mm-hmm.
There's the party,
and there's a lot of people at this party.
Yeah,
and like
I thought there was going to be more death, which I was a little bit bummed by because there were so many people there. But really, we only get 2 kills in during the party.
Yes. Okay. And
Through 2. Yeah, it is.
yeah. So I love this. Did you notice this? They're like the ginger guy and the girl that winds up getting killed in the shower. They like walk.
And
the
there's
camera
like a
follows.
third guy
There's a
following
third
him.
guy.
I was like, what is he
right?
like?
They
I'll
make a
watch.
joke. They make a joke like, "Hey, you're gonna get it on in the whatever," right? And then this third guy like he follows them out, but then the screen door like slams in his face,
And it's the
he's
door.
like,
Yeah.
like
I thought I could masturbate and watch them. Dang it.
right?
Like,
Oh,
whoops.
God, I guess I'll just
Yeah.
hide in the clothes and watch anyway.
Yeah, they go and they're boning,
Right.
and one girl's like, "You know what would make this hotter?" Or she's like, "You know what we need?" And he's like, "I got you," and pulls out a condom, and she's like, "Beer." And I'd be
Right.
like, "Shut up."
He's like, well,
I'm hard now. You know how
Right.
long it's gonna take for me to get hard when I walk into a room of
shoulda
people,
prepped for
grab
beer, ginger kid.
walk back out. Man,
right? So he goes back out and she's there. Meanwhile, the kid with the 80s tie, the
Yeah.
red 80s tie, is like, I'm going to make it.
yeah.
But,
and they're like, "Yeah, you are."
right?
He's not.
And then sees like a bigger girl with hot dogs. And he's like, speaking of, I'm hungry. Right? And I was like, is he hungry for the big girl or the
Yeah.
hot dogs in her hand?
She's right there. Why is he going towards the kitchen?
Right? He goes in the kitchen and immediately starts like sniffing the hot dogs that are in the boiling water.
And then all of a sudden it's like, "Hot dog water is a treat. Don't put your face in or you'll be beat red."
And you'll be beat red. Right? Yeah.
Rhyming is so hard when you're recording. So stupid.
I tried to, like, in my head, I was trying to make something like rhyme with boiling, and it was just not working. I'm so glad you came in with something. Right?
Life itself. Yeah, so he's like sniffing hot dog water. He's like, do I want a wiener or not? And then a hand is just like,
Just out of nowhere. There's no suspense. There's no like dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 like creeping up on
and
him.
it's not
I
even
feel
like,
like
"Oh, I
something
heard a
was
noise."
cut.
Oh, it was a cat.
Right?
Like,
But
"Oh,
it's
who
just-
else is in here?"
Right?
No, it's me.
But because even he's like, hey, who's doing this?
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
This one also is kind of a little bit gross.
yeah.
After the kill, it's a little
Right.
bit gross.
So-
shoves his face in that water.
Mhm.
Guy's like drowning on boiling water, which I cannot think of a worse way to die. Let me burn while drowning. I thought that like that the worst. It could only be worse if it was like, let me burn alive while drowning in boiling water while freezing to death. Like, those 3 elements? No. God.
After this, you'll be resting in
Yeah.
soil because you decided to drown while it boiled.
I'm not happy with that one.
It's better
Anyway,
than nothing.
It was. Yeah, so he shoves his face in. His face is like boiling, peeling away, and then like he cleans up so fast.
Mhm.
He's like, time to move, which I was like,
Right.
okay, cool, urgency. Throws him in a fridge, which we find out later.
Mhm.
But we find out because Redhead goes to get
Beers.
hot dog water, beers. I don't drinking hot dog water gets you really drunk, kids. Just
Yeah.
so you know.
No, he goes to get beers. Meanwhile, other girls have put more hot dog water into the water
And
and,
they're-
have found his heart.
It's like it's a boiled heart. And
Yeah.
It looks
So it's
pretty
like
good.
gray. You
Yeah.
know, it's boiled like
It's whenever you
things-
boil meat.
It looks like gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
And so they're like, "Ew, someone played a prank. Gross."
Yeah.
And then but they're also still playing
They're
with like
serving
this
the
yellow,
hot dogs.
yellow foamy hot dog water. Which I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, gross."
Yeah.
Ugh.
Which means they're all eating his like saturated like heart.
It's the worst part of this film,
Yeah.
really. That and the eyeball. I was like, no.
Meanwhile, while that's happening, the girl that Ginger Kid was making out with, I don't know names. I'm sorry, but names don't matter.
No, because there are
okay?
too many kids in this
Yeah.
movie.
She is like, hello? I hear
Yeah.
something, right? And gets
Who's
up,
there?
and then the shower just turns on.
Yeah.
And as we said before, the shower is extremely noticeable because it's like a jet engine
Yeah.
of like water pressure. And so like she starts running through the changing room and then all which is arguably probably the
It
best
was cool and
sequence.
spooky.
Yeah.
It's like
right?
the different outfits keep falling, and
'Cause-
she's like, "What?"
Because
No,
all the
ugh."
miners' gear is their like trench coats and their like jumpsuits, plus of course, you always
The hard hats,
put the hard hat and the
masks.
mask right at the top of the hook,
Yeah.
so it looks like a full-bodied person.
And they keep falling, and she's like, oh, and she's like voguing through the room as they're falling. It's really cool. It's poetic. And then it's performance art.
Yeah.
And then like the pickaxe face guy, he falls down, and she's like, oop, that's the worst. And then
Right. The bartender falls.
yeah.
Right?
And
Yeah. And he's hanging on a hook from the same hole as the chin, so like, that's
his
very
life is hanging
resourceful.
by a thread.
Yeah. Right. Not dead yet.
He's like, help me.
Heed
was
my
dead.
warning.
Get out of here.
Is anybody heeding yet?
He's trying to talk. He's like, and she's like, what? And he's like, put my eye in.
Valentine's Day.
No, I didn't get you a Valentine's. What?
Right. And then she finally she turns, and it's not a mask of one of the the costumes. It's the actual miner. He grabs her head and just shoves her back and keeps walking her back, and she's like, no. She's not really fighting it, but what an awesome kill. Stabs the back of her head
With,
into
the pipe.
Yeah, into the shower head.
It's the shitty water head.
Yeah.
It's not a shower head. It's it's the pipe that's been
For
clipped.
lack of a better word,
Yeah.
it's a shower head,
Yeah.
right? And then
I could see why it would go through too, and it makes me really sick.
yeah, because it's just like a
But
cut
he,
off pipe.
He would have to shove that through her
Skull?
spine. No, well, if he went at the base of the skull,
Yeah.
because that's where he shoves it in at the back of the mouth, so the mouth would be where you'd want to go out. I was like, I don't know.
Thank you for that.
But he shoves her in the back of in the back of her skull where the skull meets the spine. So he definitely would have internally decapitated her just to get that pipe out of her mouth. But then I can't tell if she dies from that or if she drowns while being hung up on that pipe.
I mean,
Because it could have been a mixture of both.
let's
but
just
she
go
definitely
with
is
both. I mean, you're gonna die.
But
no
then
matter
she turns
what.
into a really fucking fancy fountain.
Oh,
Sorry
I
for
love
that
it.
F-word.
So he
Fountain.
turns on the valve that she's plugged into.
She balloons up. She's the new Violet Beauregard. No.
And then he writes, "What a way to go!
Yeah.
You died by H2O."
Oh my God.
You like that
He
one?
was he was the original. Who are the tiny people? That sounded terribly.
I don't know.
Something.
Tiptoes is next week.
Yeah, no. Willy Wonka.
Oh, Oompa.
Yeah, he's the
Loompa.
Oompa Loompa, and he's like, she talked too much, so we
What?
put a hose in her mouth. Now she's drowning because she's trash. I don't know. He's making rhymes, killing people all fancy like.
What
He's
do
an
you
Oompa
do
Loompa.
when your mouth is all wet?
Oh, God. I couldn't think of anything that rhymed with wet. All I could think of was sweat. So I was like, don't go there. She's not sweaty. But yeah, she's dead. So then, redhead guy, it shows him go into the kitchen. He's like, I'm grabbing beers. And he does that thing where it's the person opens the fridge door and stands next to it instead of looking at it. And
Yeah,
he grabs
it's the same
beers,
thing as Slumber Party.
Sideways. Yeah. And closes the door. No one notices. So
Yeah.
then he goes back. He finds her dead. Can you believe
He's
that?
extremely emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but he's like,
Yeah.
it's way too long, right?
I knew her since second grade.
And also,
I didn't
because
put it in.
we're gonna wind up skipping it, but he goes to warn the rest of the party, and they all get out of there, right?
No, he goes to warn the rest of the party, but by the time he gets there, they have already found another
already
body in the
right,
fridge.
right.
They're like, bah! And he's like, someone else is dead. And they're like, we know someone's dead.
Right.
Number 2 is just added bonus.
Right.
Come on.
So,
Stop trying to make it about you.
did you notice later on that guy, when they find the sheriff, he has the biggest snotwad ever because he's still crying?
Hey, dedication, man. Dedication.
I was
Yeah.
gonna get laid tonight.
Well, they so the sheriff, meanwhile, side note, sheriff is going to the mine to check out some stuff.
Because he got the heart of the bartender dropped on his doorstep of the sheriff's office,
And was like,
right? And this is the most laziest note. It's
Valentine at the mine.
No.
Whoa, scary. It was all the note.
No, it actually says it didn't stop the party. That's it. There's like no rhyme. He's just like, I just fucking give up, man. Like I'm tired of these
He was
rhymes.
in a rush. He was really fast. His pen was dying, so he was like, just scribble it. So then,
This heart is mighty hardy. It didn't stop the party.
so calcium buildup on this heart. This party's kind of a fart.
The party you might find is over at the mine.
Yeah, there it is. So then the sheriff actually is pulling up to the mine, but then the radio's like, that lady that has the slides from the mental institution, she's calling and she needs you. It's urgent. So he like U-turns as he's pulling up to the mine.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everyone that's there at the party, they parked in the back, so you can't even like see cars there. So he
Right.
was like, nothing's happening. I'll go back. So he goes back, and the people are like, he died 5 years ago. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like Harry died.
That was
They're
it.
like, it's not Harry.
Right.
And then
Meanwhile, how do they know Harry died? Like, did they have him in custody again?
they have
Or-
like the they're like the tiny slides.
Yeah.
Not monofilament, but like the
It slides.
yeah, slides. Let's just keep saying slides. They figured out he died through those because
Yeah.
apparently they took pictures of everything and put them on slides, but they didn't actually keep files.
Sure, but
Stupid.
I guess it just like I'm confused as like how they know that a on the run cannibal killer.
He wasn't on the run though. He just died. He died in their custody.
But he was in custody again.
yeah, but he died like 5 years ago. So they were like, "Meh," and they just
Yeah.
deleted everything.
I guess. All right.
Back then,
So-
files weren't kept on the internets. They had them papers. It was thick. They had to save space.
So meanwhile, before the two bodies are found,
Mm-hmm.
the
Oh,
rest of
the
our
party, yeah.
cast decide, and this is
Well, there's a fight. There's a fight between Axel and TJ.
another
and
one.
Sarah's
Like it
in the
doesn't
middle.
matter.
Yeah.
Like it just.
So then Sarah and her friend,
Axel's like in the back, like crying, like.
yeah,
Right.
her friend, is it Patty or Sylvia? One of the two. Someone's dead.
Which one?
Someone's alive. Oh, they're both alive, I think.
Oh,
Patty
it's
and
Patty.
Sylvia. But Patty's like, let's go venture into the mines. Let's see it.
Right.
Come on, it'll cheer up Sarah because she's upset.
Right.
So
So you've got Patty and Sarah who are besties,
Yeah.
right? Now Patty is the girlfriend of like one of the more experienced miners. He's like a big guy with a mustache and kind of
Yeah.
like dirty, and he has a vest and like
I liked
he's
him
fun.
a little bit,
yeah.
but not a whole lot.
Right now, also Harriet, the virgin,
Yeah.
has decided to go down the mine with the Down syndrome looking guy,
Oh,
and then also I think his name
Hollis?
maybe
Hollis and Howard. It's Hollis, Howard, Harriet, Patty, Sylvia, and
I think it's Howard. Howard's the comedian.
there's 3 girls
right?
and 3 guys that go down.
Yes,
Yes.
but Sarah isn't into one of the guys, and the other guy that
Well, 'cause
same
it's
guy's
the
the
comedy
comedian.
guy, yeah.
Right, yeah. So like he's kind of on his own.
But they all go down and leave TJ and Axel
right.
upstairs.
They're like, let's go down the mine and explore. And it's like, okay, I get it. I would do that probably.
So irresponsible.
Yeah.
I would do it if there wasn't a murder on the loose, but also they.
But they don't know that.
I know.
Yeah. So they go down. Meanwhile, then all the bodies are found. So once the bodies are found, the rest of the party clears out, except for TJ.
They all bolt.
Right.
Yeah.
TJ and Axel are like, hey, Sarah's down in that mine. We got to warn her. And they're like, all right, let's go together. And instead of just going in their normal clothes, they decide to
They put on
gear up.
full outfits because it's a themed party.
Right? Let's gear up, man.
So
Right.
meanwhile, down in the mines, like 2 people go off. Harriet and what's his butt? Harriet and her man. They are like, let's go into this side tunnel, the
Because
engine room.
where's the perfect place to lose your virginity?
Yeah, a mine
in the
shaft.
deep, dark, damp mine.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then the others, they kind of explore around and they're like, meet back here. And then, of course, like, things go bad. Like, the boys scare the girls, blah, blah, blah. But TJ and Axel get down there. They find that, like, the minecart's already down there, but they can't get to it, so they take an elevator.
Right.
This is one of those scenes. This is where it all gets confusing. Because the second that you introduce, like, a maze aspect is also the second that you kind of lose your audience. Because they don't know
'Cause
who's
you don't
where.
know
You don't
where
know
they
what
are.
scene's taking place because we're not familiar with this.
Right.
Like I thought the mine was just one tunnel, but they're like, that's an old one. That's one we use now. This is a different room. Wow. So then,
Oh, yeah.
I don't. What happens?
Okay,
I'm so lost.
Okay, no, I got it.
I don't remember Harriet dying.
I got you. Okay, so what happens is that TJ and Axel go down in the elevator while the others went down in the mine.
Don't they go down in different elevators?
No, they go on the same one.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
they do. And then once they're down there, they start to notice, like, one, Harriet and her man went to that abandoned engine room, and they're like, oh, we'll see you in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, also, 10 minutes, that's very...
it's a lot of time.
Very presumptuous of you that you're going to be able to get it in with a virgin in 10 minutes in a mine. But they actually are, like, on a cot, under the covers, like, making out. I was like, wow, good for you, man. Good for you.
But then the driller killer strikes.
Yeah, you're right.
Such a bummer.
Which we didn't really see that scene. Like, you only see the aftermath.
We don't
of that,
see it at all. And
right?
for a second, I was like, did I miss something?
No, you didn't miss something.
Later, they find their bodies.
But what happens is
still penetrating.
Yeah, but we're
also
skipping.
being
We're
penetrated.
skipping. Hold on.
Yeah.
So the other 5 people, right, are all walking together, taking a tour, right?
4.
Huh?
It's 4.
4. Sorry. Yes, 4.
Comedy,
and then
Sarah,
they hear
the other duo.
right. They hear glass breaking, right? Because the miner is in the mine and he is busting the lamps that are strung across the side of the wall of the mine, which is arguably one of, like, the most memorable, like, terrifying scenes where it's like, oh, this guy's like, but you would think in the way they set it up that he's, like, right down the hall.
Yeah,
he's just somewhere else. Like, and that's what you meant about. That's, like, about the, like, maze and the, like, I don't know, established, because they can hear the glass, or at least one of them does. The comedian guy does, right?
And
but the other guy dismisses it.
Yeah.
He's like, that's probably rats. I'm like, rats that continuously break glass, like, every, like, couple steps?
Unscrewing light bulbs and watching them drop. They're like, it's funny to us.
Yes,
Rat comedy.
They're gonna love this. Rat comedy. So they continue to move on, and then they run into TJ. And TJ's like, what are you guys doing down here? Harry Warden's on the loose. We got to get out of here. And they're like, where's Harriet and her dude? And they're like, they're back at the engine room. And they're like, okay, I'll go, what's it? The guy with the mustache and the vest, the big guy, is like, I'll go there. You guys go to the...
safety.
Yeah, you guys go to safety with the carts. So he goes into that room, and that's where he finds the 2 of them impaled by the same drill bit as they were laying on top of each other. The driller killer strikes, as you said, right?
Harry walks in, and he's like, oh, shit, I didn't do this one.
Right?
Walks out.
In 1984, there will be more blood. And then he's like, oh, God, and then turns around, and the miner is starting to get creative, and he's taking a cue from the nail gun massacre and has punctured one into the side of his temple and one into his forehead, and then just lets him walk away. Yeah. He's like, you're good. You can...
And people can survive that, so that's why I'm surprised he was, like, dead from it.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
Okay. But maybe it hit all the right places.
Yeah.
Hit his G-spot. His spot.
Right?
It's where he died.
So, of course, like, that makes him, like, kind of woozy and walking away. But then he tumbles back into, like, he stumbles back into them and finds them, and and he dies in their arms.
Yeah.
So...
Some of the other girls, like, we can't leave him. And they're like, he's
because
dead.
Patty is
Jesus.
his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So...
and Patty's a little butt munch. Everyone's like, keep moving. And she's like, constantly.
Right? Now, this is also where they run into Axel now. And this is where it gets confusing, too, because I forget which Axel or TJ that they run into, and they're like, keep moving, and like something about, like, I'll go and split up and find them, or something like something. I don't understand why, again, because they basically are like, hey, comedian, you stay with the girls. Oh, no, that already happened, right? And then, so it's the 3 of them. Damn it. This is where it gets hard.
Well, he also scoots off because he's like, I'll be back. I'm going to go find a different route out as well. And so he leaves the girls alone, but then TJ shows up.
Right.
So
I love
then-
how also TJ, even in minor gear, is
No,
like,
Axel
I gotta
shows
show
up,
my
not TJ,
chest.
yeah.
See,
Right.
did you see
And I
him?
love his,
and
like,
he's
he's
like
got-
Fred from Scooby Doo.
He does.
He's got an
like his
ascot.
ascot, and he's like, "Hey, girls."
Hey.
No, it's Axel that shows up.
Right.
So Axel's leading the girls, and then TJ walks around a corner and he hits him with a piece of wood. And they're like, "Oh, sorry,
That's right.
there's a killer on the loose.
Right.
That's why we beat you up."
Yeah.
So then they go to the elevator shaft. Elevator's not working. They try
It's
using
been
the
busted.
button. They walk up the ladder, and then this is when Comedy Guy gets thrown. His body falls.
Okay.
I don't know how this happened,
Okay.
especially with the killer with them.
Apparently, in the original theatrical, it made absolutely no sense because
Didn't make sense in the uncut.
it
too.
still doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, there's still stuff missing or something.
Yeah.
Because basically, they're walking up, and they're walking up for like a good 2 or 3 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh.
Well,
and
it's 2,000
to the
feet up
point
front.
where I'm thinking that as they walk up, the miner's going to be on one of the levels and just like hit somebody with a pickaxe
Yeah.
through the gut, through the ladder, right? And they're going to fall. Right? That's what I expected. That's how it probably should have gone.
Yeah.
Because this is ridiculously stupid. Is that, like, I don't know, comedian's body just falls from the sky, right? He's like, yeah,
And
right?
then it's
And
like such a hard hit.
it
I
hits
guess.
it hits a halfway point, which the halfway point, of course, is right there by them, splats blood on them, and then rips off his head and continues to fall the rest of the way down.
Yeah.
Right? Now, one would say that if you saw that happen, you're like, well, he's dead. We should keep going. No, they decide to go down and check on the decapitated body.
Well, I think they went down because they were like, "Oh, the killer's up there,
Maybe.
pushing bodies down towards us."
But they make it seem like they go and check
Yeah.
and like, he's dead.
well, there's looking. He's like, "Don't look down at it."
Yeah.
I don't think they went down to check his body. I think they thought that the killer was north of them. Well, up of them.
North of them.
Up of them. Up
Which,
of them.
surprise, he was.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind
So
of.
they go
right?
back down. They're like, let's look for different ways. And they're walking along like a wooden path or something.
Yeah.
And they hear like splash, blub, blub, blub.
Right.
And they're like, well, Axel might have fallen in the water.
So
He's like,
Axel was the fourth one, like, in line to walk on this wooden pathway.
Yeah.
And they got around the corner and they heard the splash, and they look back and they're like, "Oh my God, that pit's like 60 feet deep. I can't." And like, it's cloudy, like muddy, like you're like, he's done.
also,
right?
cold water is extremely hard to swim in because it's like very thin,
Wow,
especially if
look at
it's
you.
natural water. So you can actually sink a lot faster than like if it was seawater or something. So it actually, that one I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Plus,
Yeah,
if you
because
fall
TJ's
into-
like, I can't
yeah.
do anything for him. He's done,
Yeah.
right? And then they're chased by the miner again. TJ's like, let's split up. Another hard trope. He splits down one path, and immediately, like, the
I
whole
thought they didn't split up. I thought they just kept running. But
they
oh,
split
they
up,
do split up,
and
yeah.
then TJ, like, you hear all this rock crumpling and stuff, and basically there's a cave in,
Yeah, they're
right?
like,
But you don't
"He's
see it,
dead."
right?
He's
And
not.
so Patty and Sarah are like, we gotta get to the mine carts. So they're getting to the mine carts, and around the corner,
Patty
boom,
gets it.
Patty gets it right in the gut with another pickaxe, right? She dies.
And Sarah's just kind of standing there like, no. As the
Oh,
killer's
God.
like standing next to her too, still
well,
with
you're
the
a
pickaxe.
slut
And she's like,
anyway.
oh, my
There
friend.
can only be one final girl.
So then Sarah runs off. She re-meets up with
TJ,
And they're like,
right?
hurry, get in the mine
Who's
carts.
now got a bloody head.
Yeah.
Right? And this is where this is where the film, for me personally, got a little anticlimactic.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Real
it seemed
boring
like
after
it,
this.
it seems like it should just escalate, right? And I figure I figured out what it is, and I'll say it when we get to it. But I could not put my finger exactly on what it was for a while, right? Like while watching this, and this is like a good 10-minute sequence here, right?
So
yeah.
Meanwhile, the cop, the sergeant, the general, the leader,
Chief Newbie.
every word for chief but chief. He gathers up some townsfolk, and they're all going to the mines. Like, hey, Harry's back. We got to kill him.
Right,
And
they
then-
pitchfork it like they should have in the beginning
Yeah.
of this whole thing.
So then they're like walking down the entrance of the mine as TJ and Sarah are on these mine carts going back up,
Right.
and the killer is behind them, like as they're all tromping across like
There's
these
about
slow-moving
There's about
mine
four
carts.
mine carts. If you ever done the mine cart at Knott's Berry Farm, it's about the same thing.
So,
okay, it's slow moving. It goes up the hill. You might get stuck at the top of the hill, and the whole ride gets evacuated.
So TJ and Sarah, though,
typical Knott's Berry Farm.
TJ and Sarah are like crawling up the mine carts towards the front.
Yes.
And the killer is just like
He's at the
stepping
bottom.
and walking. He's not crawling at all, but the other two are for some stupid reason.
Yes.
And they catch up. They catch up to each other. There's like a shovel versus axle fight. And then
No, well, I mean, there is a shovel versus axle fight, but you mean pickaxe fight.
pickaxe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is.
You gave it away!
At this point, like, someone's about to die, but they pull the mask off. And
No, not
okay.
yet. Not yet.
So,
so they tumble out of the cart, right? And then decide to run into like a danger do not enter kind of area, like will collapse area. You know what it means. And they continue to fight pickaxe versus shovel,
pickaxe destroying all the support beams.
Right, like, and I mean, okay,
better.
spoiler alert, here it is, it's Axel.
Yeah.
Right?
Someone
but
pulls his Maxwell off.
Axel should know that where he is, and like he shouldn't be just swinging blindly, like, because he does, like, when the pickaxe gets like taken away from him, he does have a full-on like hunting Bowie knife that he pulls out. So why weren't you using that, right? And so somehow, I don't remember, the mask gets like pulled off of him, and then they're like, Axel, why, right? And here's the part where I don't quite think we needed the flashback.
Yeah.
Right? Especially because this is another part where the movie decides that we're going to explain it to you with another person or something later, right? So they're like, Axel, why, right? And we get a flashback to one of the two people that were killed in 1961 during like Harry Warden's rampage of revenge, right? One of the two supervisors was the father of Axel, and Axel witnessed it. He was hiding under the bed.
Blood sprayed in his face.
Right.
A total
it was
Dexter
a total of like
Morgan
5
move.
Yes, it was
like,
Dexter, right?
Dexter,
but it was like 5 seconds worth of footage, right? It's so quick that
Born in blood.
Right? It doesn't even matter, right? It could have definitely been like, Axel, why? And then like they try to kill him, but then the cave-in happens and he's trampled into the cave-in, right? And you still don't know why. Yeah. And then the mayor...
Well, so Sarah and TJ run out of the room.
Right.
And they're like, wow, cave-in,
right.
he's dead.
And they're like, he's in there!
So then, like, the crowd goes in to unbury him. But then Sarah's like, I still haven't made up my mind on which guy to choose. And she has to go back.
In.
So she's holding his hand as they think he's dying.
But the point I was mentioning is when they go out there, the mayor and the chief have figured out somehow that when they go, it's Axel, and he goes, he was killed that day. Like, so the mayor explains it for us, the audience, like, again. Oh, right. And I'm like, why wasn't it just revealed right there? Like he could have been like, Axel, why? And he doesn't explain why. And then the mayor goes, well, this all makes sense. Like, he was and then it'd been like, oh. But instead, they give this weird flashback that kind of takes you out of the scene, right? And you're already kind of taken out of the scene because the fight sequence itself was kind of lame. And then, so Sarah runs back, and she's holding onto his hand. The hand is the only thing you can see.
And it shows him, like, cutting his own
right?
arm
Meanwhile, the footage switches over to another thing that was majorly cut and did not make sense in their theatrical release. Is that, like, you saw his hand, and she pulls his hand out, and it's severed, and you didn't understand why, and like all you see is him like backing out in that final shot of the movie where he's like,
oh, come back, I'm not done, I hate Valentine's Day,
right? But in the unrated version, they show him actually like 127 days later, like cutting his arm.
127 hours.
Is it? No, it is hours, isn't
Days
it?
later.
God damn it! I ruined my own joke. It's just.
Christ.
So he just cuts his arm off, right? And then the arm flies out. And this is where I realized what's lacking from this whole thing. There is no music. There is no suspense. There is nothing. And after I reread the trivia, and it says that like they ran out of money, and they decided that they really wanted a single to put on vinyl for this film. So they wrote the Ballad of Harry Warden song that we heard in the beginning of this episode.
That's a mistake.
And failed to really write a solid soundtrack for most of it.
Whoops.
Now, the original composer had thought, he's like, I want to make every single kill its own theme and motif and have it, like, drippy and wet sounding. And, like, I was like, it could have been interesting, but it's just not there. So this whole climatic scene of, like, the fight and the cave-in and then the final, like, oh, no, he's loose, you know? Like, it's all just so blah. You know, and it ends with him being like, ha, 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 Sarah, be my bloody Valentine, which you hear in the opening of our theme right now. But, like, that's it. That's how it ends. And then he sings this, like, stupid, like, poem, another rhyming, like, Harry went away, going to kill another day. And you're like, is this one of those other sea chanties at the bar you guys used to sing? Like, I don't know, because, and him singing that would have been haunting if you had heard it previously in the movie.
Yeah.
But you don't. So it goes off as being like, well, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's basically, that's My Bloody Valentine. Like, it ends so abruptly, and then it ends with the song that we played in the beginning.
With that being said, the W's.
The W's?
When you're bored, or you wanna watch a
when you're looking for a Valentine's theme horror movie, I recommend this, and then I recommend watching the remake, because the remake was equally as good, and it has a different plot twist by the end. So it's like it's not it's not, you're not just watching a complete rehash. It's almost as if they were like, we know the history, we know that all the gore was taken out, so we're going to throw in every single piece of gore that we possibly can. There is so much.
In the second one, the only thing I remember from the preview...
I mean the remake.
The remake. Yeah. The only thing I remember from the preview was a hot tub thing. Am I right on that?
Maybe.
Murder in a hot tub?
I forget.
I
watched the first half last night to try to, like, familiarize myself. And even in the first half, there are so many kills and everything that's happening.
Ooh, I like
because they show, like... how we said that Harry Warden should have done a rampage, like, on 1961.
Yeah.
They do that rampage.
Oh, I remember, like, the throw of a pickaxe is, like, one of the
throw
3D
of the pickaxe,
spooks.
Yeah, but he does that a couple times in the movie, I remember. But, like, the one that I clearly remember is that, like, he takes a shovel and shoves it, like, basically just cuts a girl's mouth, like, right up against a pole, and then takes his pickaxe and hits the end of the shovel, so it just clean cuts it all the way through, and the top of her head slides on the shovel, right? So it's like really cool stuff like that. There's an entire scene with a I think she's a playmate or something, but like she's fully running around nude for the whole scene. Like she's naked. Plus, which is another thing that's lacking from this as being like a iconic slasher movie. There's no nudity. So like this movie was like, we know what was missing, and we're gonna make sure that that's in it and up the ante 100%. And it's so much fun to watch. Like, I would say that it would be in my top 10 horror remakes of all time. That Friday the 13th Part 1, Friday the 13th remake, and Dawn of the Dead remake are like probably the best remakes I've ever seen. So yeah, my W's would be when you're looking for a Valentine's themed horror movie.
Whenever for me.
Yeah, or whenever, but like when you're really looking for that, this better be on your list. Which I know that shout out to anybody that's listening that tuned in because of the Cinespia and Cinematic Void screening of My Bloody Valentine. Hello. We definitely would like to welcome you to the show because they're doing a screening up there, and if you're listening to it by this time, you already know about it. But so people are doing screenings of that. I believe the Frida here is doing it as well. I'm not sure yet, but I guess we'll know by that time because we're recording this a week ahead of time. So yeah. Anyway, that's my W's. Would you say the same thing you said anytime?
Yeah, I literally already said my W's.
Yeah, that's right. I have no reviews. Like I said, everybody was just like, this is awesome, and it really is. This movie, as much as, like, we had a lot of, like, shit to pick on, but, like, it's fun for a reason. It is what it is, you know? It's, like, it's not bad at all. So you definitely 100% recommend it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I love
absolutely. So, yeah. That just about does it for My Bloody Valentine. I hope you've enjoyed our Valentine's celebration. Tune in next week for 2003's Matthew McConaughey Little People rom-com.
I picked this one
with Gary Oldman.
I'm excited.
Right? Gary Oldman as a little person. I can't wait. Tiptoes. As always, stay tuned to everything that we're doing. You can get clips from this movie. I'm definitely going to be spamming our Instagram with My Bloody Valentine clips.
Yeah.
But that Instagram is at Bombs Away Show, as well as our Twitter is the same, and our Facebook. You can always contact us, contact@bombsawayshow.com. You can write in on this episode or any of the past episodes, or something that you'd want to see. You know, like, we're always down for suggestions, and like we've told people so many times in the past, we do a lot of shout-outs. So, like, if you shout us out, you comment something, you tell us that we did something wrong, or you're like, you know, just shut up and stop going on tangents. Anything. Like, we're down for reviews. Like, you know, we're holding at a 5-star, like 100% 5-star review. Like, so we have. Like, either you guys love us or you're not giving us real feedback. So there's got to be somebody that hates us, right?
Sure
that just about does it for me. How about you?
No, I'm good.
Right? All right. So for Bombs Away, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jarrett.
And I'm going to give her a Valentine she'll never forget.
Hey, this is Jarrett with the Bombs Away podcast, and we're here in the Frida Cinema recording our podcast. So the Frida Cinema is a program of the Long Beach Cinematique, and it's located here in Santa Ana in Southern California. It serves the neighboring communities, and it is a non-profit art house cinema dedicated to enriching, connecting, and educating communities through the art of cinema. It's here to entertain, and that's why the entertainment industry exists. So what they show on these screens is pretty amazing. They have things such as the Director's Series, and it features directors such as Martin Scorsese, Mel Brooks, and Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman, if you didn't know, did The Toxic Avengers and The Class of Nukem High. They also have something called Friday Night Freakouts, and this is presented by OC Weekly. It has films that are among the horror or sci-fi kind of genre. They've done films such as Lost Boys, Hackers, and The Room. They've also featured anime like Your Name and Akira. Some other things they do are double features. They've done things such as Hot Fuzz mixed with Shaun of the Dead, which is actually two pretty good films. They also show a lot of cool things among the lines of indie films. They have The Void, which is currently on Netflix, and they also have had Academy Award-winning films such as Best Film winner Moonlight, which I think is pretty awesome that it showed in this space before it actually went up. If you want more information about showtimes, location, and everything film and entertainment related to the Frida Cinema, you can go to www.thefridacinema.org. You can also follow on Facebook at facebook.com/thefridacinema and on Instagram and Twitter at thefridacinema. The Frida Cinema, for filmmakers, for filmgoers, and for you.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?